Oh, Andrea Tessmann.
Yes, Kirk Buchner.
I have wondered all this time, in the many years that I've known you, have you ever taken a trip to a town called Funky?
It's even better when you word it that way. I have never been to Funkytown.
No, never?
But I certainly have sung along asking to be brought there.
So have a lot of people. This is probably the worst and best song ever. And I think after we're done here, I think we're really going to explain why such a song full of cheese is so awesome. That's what I think. I don't know what you think. What's your gut reaction to Funkytown?
I think that that is our raison d'être, isn't it? To explain why these songs are so terrible and so great at the same time.
In many cases, yes.
And I think we'll get there with this one.
Yeah. So May 31st, 1980. This was the #1 song, and if you're going to the movies, you would have seen something that one of my favorite movies, The Empire Strikes Back. By the way, as it turns out, Darth Vader's Luke Skywalker's dad. Did you know that?
You didn't say spoiler alert.
I'm sorry. It just seemed so 2000 to say spoiler alert.
I think if you don't know that one by now, you got bigger problems in life.
I would have to agree. So when I'm looking back at this particular song, which some people have called the last gasp of disco, I can see why they say that, but this to me was a story of a song that was so good that it survived 2 years past its prime.
Well, I don't know about so good being
so good for what it is.
The correct descriptor.
Yes.
It's kind of a miraculous little ditty. It's so simple and just so incredibly catchy, so cheesy that it's just like the perfect storm of ridiculousness to make an actually pretty great song.
Right, but this went #1 in 1980. This should have went #1 in 79 or 78. In 1980, we're a year removed from the Disco Demolition Night and from people saying, I hate disco, and if you like disco, screw off. Yet this song had
it's not pure disco, though.
Sure.
Like, this song really, it bridges the gap between the disco and the synth pop Euro crap that was coming out.
Whoa, Euro crap.
Okay, maybe not Euro crap, but it definitely bridges that gap between genres.
Okay. So there's, to me, 3 key people in this. Steven Greenberg, Debbie Jenner, and Cynthia Johnson. And I think we got to go with Mr. Greenberg first. When I told you we were going to Funkytown, I told you that, well, I didn't quite tell you this on air, but I didn't say it off air either. But I said that the mayor of Funkytown was the biggest fucking nerd that you would ever find.
Oh, yeah. He's about the least funky person you can really imagine.
And when we're talking about where... go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say there's not a whole lot that's funky about him.
No, and he's from Minneapolis, which was where the song originated, where all the session musicians came from. Steven was, how do I put this?
Basically, it's a plea of him saying, Minneapolis is very boring and not funky enough, and I want to go to, I think he says it's supposed to be New York.
I think so too. Yeah.
This is obviously before Prince, because a few years later,
but Andrea,
Minneapolis will become one of the funkiest cities out there.
Yeah, but Andrea, Prince already hit it big to a certain degree by '79.
That's true.
So Stephen wasn't invited to that party. And I don't blame Prince for saying,
so
like,
lacking
hey,
in the funkiness that he wasn't even aware of the true king of the funk.
That's kind of the way I looked at it. I mean, I looked at Stephen Greenberg, as the type of guy who said, like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be able to hit it big in New York, even though the fact that I am the nerdiest looking motherfucker in the entire world. And it's going to work because look at New York City. Who's big there? Woody Allen. Woody Allen would say, like, no, you're not cool enough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he hits every Jewish stereotype I can think of.
Well, the balding Jewfro is an interesting look to go for.
It is. It is.
And then his weird little soft-spoken, that interview that you sent of him, where it's like, oh, so how did this song get big? Well, I wrote a song. And then, so then I got people to play the song. And, yeah. And then he's talking about the wrong song. It's like, oh, so is this about Funkytown? No, this is about, what was his first song?
Rocket.
Yeah, anyways. Yeah. So, the whole thing is just, he's about as lacking in the funk as you can imagine.
I'd say it's me, but no, I think I got the funk. I think if it was me and Stephen Greenberg sort of like sitting there, I think George Clinton's going to pick me to hang out with. That interview
would say
too.
You probably would win the funk off.
The funk off, oh nice. So yeah, that interview that I sent you, which pretty much all you have to do to find that Stephen Greenberg interview, and it's so colossally funny in so many different ways. It happened in, I guess, a TV studio in St. Paul or Minneapolis, where they're from. I want to say St. Paul. I could be wrong. Doesn't matter. Twin Cities, right? And when they recorded that, it was so bad production for even 1980. Because when they had the interviewer looking at
it looked like 1965 level production quality.
Exactly. So when they even had the interviewer, when did you come up with Funkytown? And then they have the camera, and there's at least 1/10 of on the left where you don't even see the set. And then some random guy jumps in there trying to I don't know what the hell he was doing. And we had to go back to this because I'm thinking if this was the only interview that he could get, this tells me that the company in question that bought the song eventually, Casablanca Records, said, yeah, we're good. And I think this is sort of important because we're going to be talking about two different people, one who actually sang and one who didn't. And I don't think Stephen Greenberg had a damn thing to do about any of it. Well, I shouldn't say that. He obviously arranged for the person to sing. In terms of the production or the promotion? Sorry, the promotion.
He apparently recruited her directly. He heard about her through friends and actually basically cold called her and asked her to
Cynthia Johnson, and we should give her the credit that she deserves. Former Black Minnesota, 1976.
Mm-hmm. So beauty queen, involved in the music scene and with gospel and things like that, and fantastic voice.
No, absolutely.
So I was wondering why, when you've got a beautiful woman that can sing, why would you not feature them in your video? And I realized because the name of the band is a frickin' pun.
I'm glad you brought that up. Here's something I'm embarrassed to bring up. Obviously I've been aware of this song forever. I didn't even realize until a year ago that the name of the name of the group was a pun. Until a year ago.
Lips Inc.
Yeah,
instead of lip sync.
Yeah, fuck, I'm stupid.
So lip sync. So yeah. But it took me some wrapping my head around this to actually clue into that, because I was like, why? You could actually probably have a pretty great video featuring this beautiful woman with some incredible pipes on her actually singing. Instead, shall we move on to...
okay. Yeah, but there was 2 videos, though, Andrea.
There is. Neither one is her.
Okay, that's true, because there is a video with 3 African-American women.
It was, I think, put out a little bit later than the first one. But they're all lip syncing. Right,
but at the time, and so I found, and I just found it, so like it's an interview with Cynthia Johnson that was, it sort of took a while to sort of like get into the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to hear, but long story short, at the time when the song finally came big, she was pregnant.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
that makes a lot of sense then.
Yeah, so from what you've seen of the video of Greenberg, here's a guy who was so happy, like, yeah, and I'm going to do an impression of Greenberg here. I got a song here, went number 1. He didn't, and in that interview I sent you, he did credit Cynthia and everything and whatnot. But he had no control over shit. He got his money and that was it. And he was sort of like lucky to get it. Mm-hmm. And when we're talking about Greenberg, here's a guy who pretty much did everything but the vocals. Yes, I'm calling him a nerd. Yes, I'm calling him a Woody Allen wannabe. But he did it all.
Except he can't sing. Did you hear him singing in that video clip?
I did.
He can't hold a tune in a bucket of water.
No, he could not. But he knew that, and he found someone who could. And, to give him credit, he came up with something. How do I put it? It's like somebody who came up with a bunch of hooks, or like just a bunch of everything, and just, I'm going to throw it all in one song, but he didn't put it all like in the same 10 seconds. This was his Waterloo, and it was great for what it was, and he was never going to come up with it again. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
and that's just it.
Yeah.
He had a couple of great ideas for a couple of hooks, and he dumped them all into one song. And it flows together very well. And the transitions are pretty great. And it creates, for a song that has literally the same 2 lines over and over and over again, the difference in the texture of the music actually creates a bit more of an interesting feel to it. Mm-hmm. So it does pull you in. Even though you're just listening to Funkytown over and over again. But, I think that it was a one-off, like, great idea, but there's not enough depth in it to show any actual real talent.
Yeah, it's like somebody used all the best ideas he had once, and then he had nothing left. Which is fine. I mean, like, they're that good that the owners of this song, and I think he became the owner of it eventually, like the sole owner, you know, it's sort of worth it for that. With Cynthia, when I finally found that interview for her, it took me forever to find something where she's talking about this. She basically said, you know, at that point, she was going through so much shit. You know, A, being pregnant, B, in a bad marriage. And you and I, as we've been doing the show, you know, the contracts that exist in the music industry. And I think enough said. You know, when it comes down to that. But the good part of this is she did get a lawyer afterwards. She got paid for her work.
Nice.
So
that doesn't. Well, yeah, as we've seen, that doesn't always happen.
Yeah. So Cynthia got some money from this, but when people are looking at the Funkytown video, again, like as Andrea and I mentioned, there's two videos. There's one where there's 3 African Americans singing, none of which are Cynthia, and it's not because Cynthia wasn't good looking enough. She just was pregnant. You know, that's all it was.
As I said, I just assumed it was because the name of the band was Lip Sync. So why would you have the actual singer in the video of a band Lip Sync?
It could have been that. It could have been the fact that Steven just I don't think Steven
the pregnancy thing totally makes sense.
I don't think Steven even thought that far ahead. I really don't. Because my understanding...
not.
No, not at all. I mean, like I got a song... I got a song. It's done. Da, da, da. Like, I don't think Steven is a bad guy in this story at all. But the funny thing is, like, for those listening here, if you Google or YouTube Funkytown lip sync video, there's going to be, how do I put this delicately? Somebody who looks like Amy Poehler.
Hamming it up like Amy Poehler would if you took Amy Poehler and like now or even 10 years ago and put that as a SNL skit, I don't think anything would be different.
No, totally.
I think it would be exactly the same video.
Yes.
It's pretty incredible. Like, it's so over the top that it's great. It
is. And so it's this, how do I put this? So it's a white European woman who, again, as we described, looks like Amy Poehler, doing this robot, the robot dance. Who does that?
Like a really cheesy 1980 robot wearing a unitard, with another backup dancer behind her who's a better dancer than her.
Yep. Well, I told you in a message.
A lot of, like, hips.
Well, hips, yeah. I mean, I told you, like, I've seen that video a few times. I was looking for nipples. It was that, like, do I see it? Do I not? Do I see it? Do I not? That doesn't sound very... Me Too movement, but that's what it was.
Yeah, the whole video with the superimposing them over themselves dancing was pretty state of the art visuals there. And yeah, the pink unitard and the robot and the haircut and the facial expressions. It just comes together for one outrageously ridiculous video. Think Jane Fonda on drugs.
It's Jane Fonda on drugs meets Princess Diana.
It is the Diana haircut.
It is. It totally
Princess Di
is.
haircut, yes.
So I was looking up her. So the lady in question is Debbie Jenner, and this is not a shot at Debbie. Debbie had probably was just contracted to do something. And here's this, like, you and I were doing this in 2021, talking about a white woman contracted to lip sync who probably had no idea that she was lip syncing for a black woman. Or if she did back then, like, maybe they didn't care. I don't know. Because it was a little weird over then. Remember, you and I, we talked about, like, Peripherally Boney M, where the lead singer, you know, was covering a white guy.
Well, yeah, there's that. I also, I'm pretty sure she was hired specifically to be the face of the band in Sweden or somewhere. Like, it was a European thing. It wasn't necessarily an American thing.
Well, I think it wasn't just Sweden, because I found something where she was doing a show in Germany. So from what I learned of her, she's English of Dutch origin. So I found an interview with her, and I thought, okay, this is going to be great. I'm going to learn everything. And it's all in Dutch. My Dutch isn't good, Andrea.
Neither is mine.
Yeah, so I learned fuck all. And then I found another interview. Like, perfect! And he even said, from Funkytown to Pilates. If you Google her name, Debbie Jenner, Pilates is the first thing that comes up. Okay, great. I'm going to find out how the hell she got hired. And that whole interview got removed. So I don't know anything about her. Found her on LinkedIn. And I thought, hey, maybe I should, like, reach out to her. And I thought, no. Maybe I will. Maybe we will. Or we won't.
Debbie Jenner, if you're listening, shoot us a line.
Yeah, exactly. We want to talk to you. Not in a bad way. It's just like you're doing what you were hired to do. It's interesting. And when you watch that video, it's like, fuck. Who does this robot shit like that? Well, in 1980, Debbie did. And I guess it worked. But yeah, Cynthia did nothing. She didn't even perform a goddamn thing on any of that. And it didn't matter because the song was that awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, I really think that. Every hook I think you can think of is there. The chorus, like, will you take me to Funkytown? Even just like, okay, well, this doesn't sound so funky. Well, here's the guitar, dun, 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 and then the guitar or the violins. It's perfect. It's like he used every good idea. Yeah, he used every good idea for one thing, and he had nothing left.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Can't blow all your hook loads on one song. You got to keep some of those. But you're right. There's that dun dun dun. As soon as you hear that, you know the song. Mm-hmm. You hear the "Won't you take me to Funkytown?" You know the song.
Absolutely.
You hear like any tiny little bit of it, and it's like, oh, I know that song. And then did you look at the Funkytown website?
I did.
The website, funkytown.com.
I did. Yes.
And it has 15 different versions of the song that you can license for use, including a country version, at least 2 metal versions, 1 or 2 folk versions, a Christmas version, a klezmer version. What else was on there? It was great. I listened to a little bit of most of them, and I had a really good chuckle.
I missed looking at the Christmas version, though. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. I think you can see your nipplies.
I don't think that's how it went.
No?
Wrong song.
Okay.
Wrong song. You're obsessed with the nipples right now.
Yes!
Let's move on past the video and the nipples.
All right, fine.
There's much more visible nipples online. I guarantee you that.
Okay, before we go back to the song, you're right. But I'm at that weird age when I look back. It was really sort of like interesting. It was like, okay, let's fast. Okay, we're gonna go from this channel to this channel. Like, is that a nipple? No. Okay, no. Okay, we're gonna go to another channel. Okay, there it is. It was better to find one than to actually sort of like get a porno. When I was a certain age.
Yeah, watching static, hoping for it to clear up just enough.
Yes. I'm not saying I'm proud of my past, but I'm just acknowledging how it was. Mm-hmm. Which is how it was in Funkytown.
I think that's a very, very common in the early days of
Scramble Vision.
Skinamax.
Scramble Vision, I used to call that. My God.
So Funkytown.
Yeah, Funkytown.
Back to Funkytown.
I still maintain this is like one of the greatest yet not great songs of its era. You want to take like every hook you can think of. Here it is. It sums up not just the disco era, but in a way the synth pop era. And here we are, 40 years later, celebrating a song that was, I think they used it in the Shrek series, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not a...
Oh, it's been used in a ton. It's been used in Shrek. It's been used in a ton of things.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I'm happy to learn, as I did, that Cynthia made her money. As for Debbie, if you Google Debbie Jenner, you're going to find Debbie Jenner, the first word that's going to come up with is Pilates. So if you just sort of like see her do her weird robot moves, it's like, oh, fuck. Like, what the hell is she going to do with that? It's Pilates. That's your answer.
Mm-hmm.
Good on her. There's no bad news here. Usually when we do this, it's like, oh God, somebody died. It's like singing nun shit.
Yeah, we've done a few depressing songs.
There's nothing there's nothing depressing about Funkytown. Thank fucking God. Thank funking.
It's even supposed to be about him being he's bored and wants to move to a better city, but there's nothing sad about it. There's nothing being like. I think that Funkytown is more of an idea than an actual place.
Yeah, I don't even know if Mr. Greenberg ever made it in New York. I think if he did, just like Woody Allen just said, like, no, we have me. Fuck off. You know, like, look at this guy. You know, it's like, we have me. We don't need you. So no, it's a happy song. It was covered by an Australian group, Pseudo Echo, and I remember this as a kid. Went to number 6, and sure enough, just like Lip Sync, this was their only their top 10 hit. There's no tragedy here. There's no what's the word I'm looking for? I guess corpse. Because like we've talked about some of these songs where like nobody wins at the end. They're just like a dead body. This is it's an awesome little song. Cynthia didn't get to sort of like dance around in her heyday, but she made her money. Great. Steven didn't look for money. Or no, Steven looked for fame. He made some money. Great. Debbie did her own thing afterwards. Great. Win, 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 win.
Yeah, I agree. Nobody got fucked over this time around. I like that.
That's what Funkytown is all about. Where are we going next week, Andrea?
Well, we are actually going to go to the candy shop.
No!
Candy Shop. What is it? No, Candy Shop. It's Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh, shit. I thought we were doing 50
We're
Cent.
going to go visit the Candy Man.
I thought we were doing 50 Cent.
Wrong era. Yeah, no, we're not doing 50 Cent. And I was like, when I was thinking about this earlier, I was like, don't say the 50 Cent song. Don't say the 50 Cent song. And then I said the 50 Cent song. No, we are going back to Sammy Davis Jr. to Candy Man.
All right. I like this guy. All right. This
Because
be
that
fun.
piece of crap needs to be explored.
Damn.
But you know what? Sammy Davis Jr. makes almost anything classy.
Almost.
Almost.
Okay. I like it. Oh, wow. It'll sort of fit for what I have the week after.
All right.
I've already decided.
Sounds like a plan.
Absolutely. So let's sort of like keep it classy, San Diego. This is going to be awesome. And, fix that glass eye because we've got the Candyman coming and he makes the world feel good. Or I don't remember.
And he does it all for you? I'm not really sure. But I know that we've got some Willy Wonka to talk about, some Gene Wilder. There's a lot to get into.
All right. I'm down for your candy there, Andrea.
Hey, I have a big white van with free candy written on the side of it.
And
on that note, good night, Kirk.
I was going to say I have something big and white, but that's not true. The white part is...
You said we're not doing Candy Shop. We're not talking about your lollipop.
In the licks I got. All right. We'll leave it at that. All right. Stay safe, everybody. Andrea and I will stay safe. I don't know about the rest of you, but we're good.
Yeah, we are.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.